Today we're going to be looking at turtle wax and dry. This is an old product, around for quite a few years, but it's still on sale, and it might be called something else in different parts of the world, but it's basically a drying aid and wax type product. So designed to be wiped off or dried off, not rinsed off. And we're going to compare it today to our good old wet coat essence. This is at 10 to 1, not 15, so labels are inaccurate, but still a good performer that we've seen in multiple tests now, where it really is one of the best you can get for spray and rinse. We're going to check to see, how's the value proposition between something that costs $9 Canadian for 770 mils versus something that costs $30 for a liter, up to 1.5 liters. So the hood here is completely bare. You can see the paint on here still dripping off, but we are going to apply one to each side, wipe them off, and then give it a rinse down and have a see how they look. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so we've got the towel of separation there. Gian is going to go on this side just because that's where I happen to be standing. It might look like I put on a lot, but it's a really dinky trigger, so as a matter of fact, the turtle wax will probably get a lot more. But you can see it doing its thing, separating it up. Oh, turtle wax stuff smells good. A little greasy on the wipe off. Obviously not how it's intended to be used, so can't fault them for that. And I did use more than probably the same person would, but I wanted it even. I wanted it to perform, and if it means wipe off's a little bit more difficult, then so be it. At least I don't have to do it twice. That's not that bad. Okay, let's wipe off turtle wax. Probably got a bit more of it. Gian doesn't ship yours with the essence with a bottle and a trigger, so it's not turtle wax's fault. Not quite as oily seeming as Gian. Dry side. Obviously, they probably want you to use something a bit better at drying than a regular dry as microfiber. But yeah, slick. Feels slick. It smells so good. Gotta give them credit there. It smells good. I'm very intentionally going to rinse them towards their own sides so that they don't commingulate in the middle. And see how they look. Step. And your turtle wax. So down the middle obviously is our control, which is fairly well highlighted, and let's just give it a couple sprays and see how they look. Obviously, The Geon, I guess because of the thickness, when you wipe it in that manner, it might take a bit more rinsing for it to fully rinse off and get down to its final bonded layer. But you can definitely see how much more water's on the paint versus turtle wax. So obviously that means it's gonna bead better. Turtle wax might sheet better. I don't subscribe to the argument that sheeting's better than beading. Just blow dry your car. But yeah, definitely a little more rapid on this, and this is at 10-1, so you can still knock that back and get, you know, 1.5 liters, roughly speaking, of concentrate 15-1. I haven't gone and experimented outside of that realm to like 20-1 or anything, but yeah, let's have one more gander at it before we wrap this up. I was thinking about doing a wash test, but the turtle wax isn't rapid enough to really warrant it. But yeah, Geon, at least you get what you pay for. It's there, and you could probably get. I think you could probably get a lot of mileage out of that, especially if you're spreading it around. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
This product is actually ideal if you don't have access to spot-free water. Let's get into the test. Let's get into the torch test right now, because you will see how I would use this product out in the wild to help prevent water spots, especially if you're dealing with really, really hard water. So with that, let's get into the test right now. Well, would you look at that? Look who got themselves a new, nice black hood. Your boy. So, what now, haters? What are you gonna say? I know you're gonna find something. And if it's that I'm working in direct sun, that's because the turtle wax says that it prevents water spots. So I'm gonna do the turtle wax on the right side and then the Eagle One on the left side. So let's wet it. And this panel has been prepped, and there's nothing on it. Clayed, strip washed, nothing. So in the sun, how you doing? So let's see, you can see what it's like there. And these are kind of my favorite. You can see how fast it's sheeting in the sun. So we're gonna have to work fast here. So spray. So I'm going to do 2 applications. I'm going to do a spray, that's the turtle wax side, just because it says that it prevents water spotting. And so what I want to see is, does it actually prevent water spotting? Now the Eagle One doesn't have those claims, and it just says 1 or 2 sprays per panel. So I want to see if there's a different reaction, and see how it's a little different right off the bat, that the turtle wax side kind of started to bead the water and then the Eagle One isn't. So I'm gonna dry it, and I'm a huge fan of wax as you dry products. I don't think that you need to have a dedicated product to wax as you dry. I think you could do it with most spray waxes anyway, but since these are 2 on the market, I wanted to try them out. And really, Eagle One, such a fan of their iron remover that I decided I wanted to really try out their wax as you dry. Total disservice, I think I mentioned it in the intro, but really did bad with the labeling, just the label confusion of all the labels looking the same. Since that one's kind of, this is the one thing when it's wet, you're gonna want 2 towels. So, and as we could see, the turtle wax side is still doing really well. Not streaking, it is preventing the water spots. It's actually has slowed down the drying of It looks like you will eventually get to see some spots, but let's wipe it. And it says it's the #1 selling wax on the label. So, prevents water spots. I don't know if that meant while the water's on the car, like, which would be cool, right? Is this a product? Oh, so I'm glad I'm using hard water, kind of thinking about this as I go. But is this a product, regardless of the wax and regardless of how durable these are, is this turtle wax spray as you dry a good way to prevent water spots if you're dealing with really hard water? I mean, you saw there, and I will say the turtle wax is a little bit easier to work with, not getting as much streaking. You can see the workability is not as difficult as it was on that Eagle One product. And so as we kind of get into the durability test instantly, that's very fascinating to me that the turtle wax wax and dry spray wax may be its best feature, maybe, and I don't know, that it prevents water spots. So it might be a good product to spray on your car to buy you some time. It may not prevent, let's see if we have any difference in the water behavior. Man, this hood is so big. So much surface area on this hood. To be fair, about the same. Maybe the turtle wax has a little bit more water beading. Not by much. They're both kind of sheeters. Let's try it again. That sheets pretty quickly too. I would call it about the same. They're both going to be in that sheeting category, a little bit better than water beading, but I'm going to do this test real quick. So we're going to do it because I just thought of this as we did it and I want to do it. So let's spray. I'm going to saturate the turtle wax side because I want to see if this is a viable option to prevent water spots. So let's do that. I'm going to re-wet the Eagle One side. Have I been calling it something else? Well, Eagle One. So I'm going to wet the Eagle One side too. And sorry about that. And what I want to see, you can see, oh man, this is the best. And we're not picking sides per se right now. We're just looking at differences. So I think this may be the most interesting aspect of both these. And I really hope the camera is picking the subtle differences up. On the turtle wax side, we have it kind of almost keeping more water on the panel. But the weird part to me is that it's not drying out. Whereas the Eagle One side, it looks like it's drying out. It's actually not really drying out, but you see the differences. So this is what I just thought of. Regardless of how durable these products are, is the turtle wax going to be a good option? And this is why I don't always use a pressure washer. I want to use tools that are the most readily available to people. And this turtle wax, what is it called? Wax and dry. So the turtle wax and dry may be a really, really good option because it's not making the water dry out on the surface. And I really want to see, this is why I did it in direct sun too. I really want to see if you could prevent water spots on the paint by doing this. Obviously, if it's really hot out, and today we're dealing with about a 75, 80 degree day, black hood, of course, and you could just see the dramatic differences. I love this, and it doesn't necessarily make one product better or one product worse. It just kind of is what it is. The car wax brand, I guess, in turtle wax. But I will say I've been fairly motivated to try more of their products only because I've been so impressed with the products that I've tried, including these. And this is not to blow wind up Turtle Wax's skirt. This is just me buying products and trying them out. You know what I mean? So let's see here. So let's call call it for what it is. Both are pretty flat. Both took a beating from an iron remover. Not that impressive from the durability standpoint. If I do have to give it to one of the sides, it will be turtle wax side. Obviously, it's sheeting water much faster. I think its biggest benefit really is that you can just use it to buy time with water spots. But let me get the blower going, and you can see how much less water's on the panel. And to go back to